I want to share with you a story of a man who failed 9 times in his early 20s, but today he runs a multi-million-dollar business and is extremely happy. If you think about it, we are all judged by our results. If you have lots of money, then people will say you're rich, successful, maybe even talented. But if you don't have any money, then people will assume you're poor, unsuccessful, maybe even stupid or lazy. We are all judged by our results, but we are not made for one result. We are made for multiple results. The truth is that life is unfair. You can't control how gifted you are when you're born, what family you were born into, where you were raised. And yes, sometimes people are just born with a silver spoon. But at the same time, you can control your effort, your persistence, and most importantly, your mindset. In the early 1970s, a young man named J.K. Lasser had absolutely no money. He was raised in a small village in France and never had enough money to go to university. But he wanted more out of life than working a low-level job in some office building. So with almost no capital, he started his own company. J.K. worked day and night trying to build something special. At first, he had 0 customers. But eventually he got his first client and started making some money. He was so excited because finally he could see some light at the end of the tunnel. But unfortunately, right after he got his first client, he lost them. J.K. was devastated. He had put so much time, energy, and effort into getting this client only to lose them right away. He thought to himself, should I even continue? Is it even worth it? But then he thought to himself, you know what? I'm too young to give up. Let me try one more time. So he tried again and failed again. Between the ages of 22 and 28, J.K. failed 9 times in front of his friends, family, and everyone else around him. But do you know what happened next? After failing 9 times, he got up on his 10th attempt. His company went public, and today they make over $1 billion a year. It's funny because when people look at J.K. today, they think to themselves, wow, he must have always been good at business. But the truth is that J.K. is actually dyslexic and has trouble reading and writing. What they don't see are the 9 failures behind his success. I'm telling you this because I want you to understand that it's okay to fail. In fact, it's not only okay, it's actually good. The truth is that every great person that ever lived failed multiple times before they succeeded. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before he invented the light bulb. And Steve Jobs got fired from the company he built multiple times before he became successful. So if you haven't succeeded yet, don't worry. Just keep going, and eventually you will succeed. Because here's the other thing that nobody tells you. Success doesn't come from one big decision. It comes from multiple little decisions that you make every single day. You know, there's this one thing that all successful people have in common. They get up early. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, I can't get up early. I'm not a morning person. But the truth is that you are the one who decides when you're gonna wake up. For example, if your goal is to wake up at 6 a.m., but you set your alarm for 6:30, then guess what time you're gonna wake up? 6:30. However, if you set your alarm for 5:45 a.m., then you'll probably wake up at 5:45 a.m. because guess what? Your alarm is not controlling you. You are controlling you. So my question for you is, what time did you set your alarm for today? Because at the end of the day, it's not about whether you wake up at 5 a.m. or 10 a.m. It's about which one you decide to do. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. Waking up early isn't easy, but it's also not impossible. There's a popular saying that Rome wasn't built in a day, meaning that most things worth doing take time. And the same goes for waking up early. It takes time to build the habit of waking up earlier. So if you want to start waking up earlier, then I want you to follow these 3 steps. Step no. 1 is to write down why you want to wake up earlier. For example, I want to wake up earlier so I can have more time to myself. I want to wake up earlier so I can get more work done. Or I want to wake up earlier so I can start exercising. Step number 2 is to write down what exactly you're gonna do to achieve that goal. For example, I'm gonna move my alarm 15 minutes earlier every single week. I'm gonna ask my friends to hold me accountable for being lazy. Or I'm gonna reward myself with something nice after a week of waking up early. And step no. 3 is to write down how you will measure your progress. For example, I will check off each day that I wake up early, I will track my progress in a journal, or I will post my progress online so everyone can see it. Okay, now I want you to do those 3 steps. This video is not going to be here forever, so while you still can, pause the video and write them down. As you can see, we are all defined by our results, but we are not made for one result. So my question for you is, what are you going to do today to move closer to your goals? Because here's the thing, you are the one who decides. Only you know what you're capable of. Only you know what you want out of life. So stop wasting your potential and start fulfilling your purpose.